We've seen Israel bomb the Syrian airport dozens, if not hundreds of times over the last few years. Syria has been unable to deter Israeli attacks, clearly weakened by the decade-long civil war and the presence of U.S. troops on their territory. I don't think anyone expects them to join the fight against Israel. Still, Syria has a role to play. Can you help us understand what their position might be?
I think Syria is non-existent. It doesn't exist for it to have a role to play. I think that what Israel is bombing is now an Iranian proxy and Iranian pro-Iranian militias that are in Syria. Assad does not have the power to order a counterattack on Israel, does not have the power to resist Israel. When Israel is bombing Syria, it believes it's bombing Iran. And Iran is deciding whether Syria retaliates or not. Iran is deciding the mobilization of the forces on Syrian territory to apply pressure on Israel. Assad is out of the picture, impotent with no power whatsoever to do anything. On the contrary, Assad is more focused on Idlib and bombing Idlib. At the same time that there's a genocide taking place in Gaza, there's a bombardment of Idlib as he seeks to take advantage of the diversion of attention to the genocide to try to finish off those in Idlib and retake all of Syria. But he's struggling because the Turks are still bombing the Kurdish positions, and the Russians are there and the Americans are there. In other words, I think that when Israel is attacking Syria, I think that has much more to do with Iran. And I think in this particular context, Syria's role is primarily as a launch pad for Iran to keep the pressure up on Israel. And I think in reality it's a damning indictment on Syria itself. Bashar Al Assad destroyed the whole country. All the people wanted was a chance to choose their rulers and stop a family rule that lasts 2 decades. He said, I'd rather burn the whole country than allow the people to choose their own leaders. And Syria is now effectively irrelevant.